Hello DJ, good afternoon. So glad that you're here. We're very excited to tell everyone about the work that you've created for the Discovery Lab. And so look forward to hearing from you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course, and good afternoon to you, Dr. Chadwell. The pleasure to be seated here and having this discussion with you. I'm thankful for that. Thankful for you giving me the opportunity to share my journey. My journey began at TCU, and I obtained my Bachelor's in Fine Arts and my Master's in Fine Arts by the age of 23. I was privileged enough to be accepted to Pratt Institute in New York, and from there on I had the miraculous privilege of working at the United Nations, after which I got to work for the Modern Art Museum of Fort Worth, and from that point onwards, that was where my role as an educator began. I had the pleasure of serving as a professor for TCC Northwest, and then served as an AP art educator for Fort Worth ISD, specifically Eastern Hills High School, for 7 years. And when it was time for me to move on and take on a more challenging role, I'm happy to say that Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD said yes to my role at Boswell High School.
So I want to think about you growing up, and a lot of people watching this video will be students, maybe elementary age students, middle school, of course high school. And who were you as a young elementary, middle, high school student in terms of art? Is this something you have always had interest in, drawing and things like that, or is this something that came later to you in life?
It was quite early on, and I have to credit my mother. She was the one that cultivated that talent, and it all began with just drawing covers of my children's books. I was quite early on learning how to draw, and not just draw but color, so I was teaching myself color theory. Otherwise, it was all based on hard work, essentially meritocracy. So whether an elementary child or a secondary child is watching this video, you have to work and you have to put in the effort, especially for a practice such as studio art. Because if you don't have pride in yourself as an artist, then no one is going to be proud of you, so to speak.
Let's talk about the technique you used on the work you did for us, stippling. How did you decide to use this technique for many of your works?
Once the World Health Organization declared it a pandemic, this country shut down. And so while it did prove apocalyptic for many, that was actually a propitious moment for me, because I embraced that time, a concept that, at least in Western societies, it was foreign to, because everyone is hustling and bustling. But for me, to be able to take a breather and realize, okay, I don't have access to a studio, I don't have access to proper ventilation, I need to figure out a new form of art making that is conducive to my indoor environment. The stippling technique was just felt appropriate because you required time and patience. And that's what stippling is.
Describe the unique characteristics of the work that make it different from the others you've created.
So with this piece, bringing in watercolor renditions just to serve as an accent, to bring in a tea wash background, again to add a contrast and to activate the space. Otherwise, if you remove all those devices, you are simply left with stippling, but if we deconstruct that, it's essentially dots on paper. And so with this piece, bringing in that watercolor accent to accentuate the red tail hawk, and to bring in a little bit of my Sri Lankan heritage into that piece through the Sri Lankan tea wash, makes this piece sublimely unique and cross-cultural in every sense of the word.
How did you decide to draw or design this particular composition of the red-tailed hawk?
When I think of any type of bird, the first word that is conjured is soaring. And in the context of this district, I thought it quite apt to come up with basically a gesture of the bird that would highlight the aspire philosophy that this district operates on. And so when it came to this particular composition, I wanted the wings to be outstretched, and I wanted that laser focus to be evoked through the hawk's eyes. The image shows it focusing on its prey, but in this context, that focus is on academic success.
So Van Gogh said, if you truly love nature, you will find beauty everywhere. What does that mean to you personally?
When I hear that quote, I interpret it for its figurative meaning. I equate the nature to human nature, personality. So for me, that's how I interpret that, where you can be genuine and utilize your naturally God-given talents or even skills. Beautiful things come out of that, good things come out of that, and your aim should be to promote a healthy and vibrant society. I mean, that should be your target audience. Anything for self-profit doesn't last.